I'm going to show you the third match played between s0s and Special during semifinals of Intel Extreme Masters PyeongChang 2018 tournament. s0s is on the left and Special is on the right side. They played at IEM Season XII PyeongChang, Intel Extreme Masters PyeongChang tournament. It was held in Pyeongchang, South Korea. The prize pool is $150,000 overall. 5 Protos, 4 Terran, 9 Zerg. You can stop the video and check this information out. You can see that the first place made 50,000, second 25,000, third, fourth 12,500 each. Here you can take a closer look at the results. I'm going to show you this match right here. s0s versus Special. You can further check out racial distribution, Protoss, Terran, Zerg, random, and map statistics. You can also take a look at other videos, Intel Extreme Masters tournament around Pyeongchang, VODs, spoiler-free VODs, spoiler-free official YouTube VODs, and so on. You can check out some of these games by typing AndYouLeftTheGame in YouTube search bar. If you get these two, click on the one without blank space and it will take you straight to the channel. If you end up with the one that has blank spaces, click on it, go to featured channels right there on the left after clicking on the channel, and click on AndYouLeftTheGame without blank space. It's gonna be there and it will take you straight to the channel. Now let's take a look at the players. The first player is s0s. He's Kim Yo Jin. He had many nicknames before. He made over $500,000 playing the tournament. He goes back to 2011 and he's considered to be one of the best or one of the most successful players out there. He plays this game really well, and so far in this tournament he did not suffer a loss. We can take a look at it, and s0s versus DNS 3-0, s0s versus Calazur 3-0, s0s versus Special 3-0. Well, unfortunately for s0s, Scarlet has proved to be a better player. But we're talking about this match right here, and we're talking about the third match on Blackpink map. And so far s0s was doing a great job. Here you can find out more about his trivia, awards, achievements that he has gained playing various tournaments and championships, interviews that date back to 2012, and you can check out his pictures too. He is going to face Special, who plays for Exceed Esports team. He goes by the name of Juan Carlos Tano Lopez. He's from Mexico. He made over $200,000 playing StarCraft 2. He's certainly a very successful player. He dates back to 2011, and you can check out his achievements here in Premier tournaments and major tournaments, minor tournaments, Premier team leagues. You can check out his interviews and watch more replays. Here's more pictures of him. Now that we know about the players, the YouTube channel and the tournament, let's move on to the match and take a look at it from s0s perspective. s0s so far tends to do super early scouts, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. He is making a very early scout. He can do that because he does not really need a worker to do all the work. So he's not going to lose resources as he would otherwise be. If he would, for example, be a Terran needs to make mule jobs to compensate for the loss in resources due to workers being busy on construction. In here we see that Special is trying to fight that probe, but is not really committing. He's sending one SUV at a time, always trying to attack the probe with a fresh SUV. Probe regenerates the shield energy so quickly that those SUVs are having a really hard time fighting, and Special would have to send at least 2 SUVs to do considerable damage, and even then the probe would be able to escape. So at most times the probe will try to harass the enemy in his main base, and then will try to, as long as possible, prevent the opponent from opening himself a second base. Now, as you can see, the second base was not opened where it's supposed to be, but Special can always lift his second command center, and in this way place it where he wants it to be placed. Then he takes a look if there are any buildings far away built, maybe some far away third base, but that didn't happen just yet. Then he moves out with depth.
Glory to the Daylong.
And this of that will certainly be damaging. Unfortunately, the depth wasn't quick enough to get into the main base, but it got close. Close enough. So far, s0s doesn't really have that many units either. And oh wow, look at that blood there. It looks like everything's a little bit still. The players are trying to scout each other, but that's not a big deal. s0s is building pylons at the corners to check in on the drops. And he did got supply blocks for a second there. So far so good. One of the Helens did pass through, but he is so weak that he's not going to do much damage for long. It looks like this is a very stable game where both players are very much focused on scouting and expansion. Nothing much is happening. If a Special chooses to play tank or rather marine, Medivac play against a very heavy Protoss composition, it could spell another disaster. Now we see a Colossus drop, and this drop is an absolute disaster for a Special, and it looks like he made many kills against those biological units there. Very impressive indeed. Now another drop right here didn't got any good kills. So these drops are certainly a very important part of StarCraft 2 gameplay, because if they are successful they can do enormous damage and pretty much win the game to some extent, or at least prolong the game quite a bit. However, nowadays the pro players tend to very successfully deal with these drops, and these drops are not even could be called drops. They're just kind of a waste of resources more than a drop, because the drops get countered by Vikings, for example. They get countered by a static defense, they get countered by troops already waiting and anticipating the drops. So something that maybe in 2012 was a big deal, today it's certainly not a big deal anymore. It seems that Special once again is one base behind s0s. At 7 minutes, s0s is building himself a third base and is quite effectively on the offensive. In here we see forces being bunched up, more scouting from Special, and a drop from s0s. Once again, this is a super quiet game. It's unclear what to expect from Special. We haven't seen his force that well either. These Vikings are finally taking shape. Colossus is being recalled back, and in this way it's going to be saved. However, he did lose a lot of its armor, and even if he regenerates, the shield is going to be quite vulnerable. No doubts about it. So it's a weak Colossus that needs to be looked after during an important battle. It looks like Special is known and the fencing is coming in. The offensive is in biological unit composition, and those Colossus are going to be very effective, very effective against that bio composition. It looks like Special is handicapped once again due to its inability to kill the Colossus. That Zealot is moving around to scout where are Special's forces, and we already know where it is. The Vikings are going to be a good counter against the Colossus. s0s has made himself another shortcut here, where his army can move down much safer. So you can see that he's building himself quite a few units. 3 Colossus, more Zealots, and Stalkers are being warped in. The scouting marine has been caught up with. They're making drops. Special's making drops. The Special is making drops fighting these kind of useless pylons there. and got the drop into his main base. That's not really, that's almost mined out. Here we have a nice position from Special in the corner. However, his army composition just was not good enough, and it looks like Special had to GG out. Now let's once again take a look at the engagement here. So Special does have a force here, and he's trying to do some harassment. However, this harassment cannot take place because s0s is just simply too powerful, and he would just do too much damage to Terran forces. Now with his current troops here, it looks like there's no way he can win, and it seems that Special is kind of retreating here, and he doesn't really have anything, and even if he gets into this very defensive position, he doesn't have enough troops, and those tanky Protoss units are having absolutely no problem fighting the Terran. That's all, and it looks like Special made his last scan here before the defeat, and it's all over.